Precision Analytical is excited to introduce to you the most advanced hormone test available. We call it Dutch testing, a dried urine test for comprehensive hormones. What makes this test so uniquely valuable is the amount of information that you can get from one simple patient collection. When you're testing hormones, you start with the basics. Estrogen or estradiol, progesterone, and testosterone, those are the sex hormones. DHEA or DHEAS, and a cortisol measurement, those are adrenal hormones. And you can measure those basic hormones from serum testing, from saliva testing, or from a 24-hour urine test. But when you want a more comprehensive overview of hormones, you have to pick which tests you want and then which testing modalities offer those particular tests. To the basic sex hormones, we'd like to add estrogen metabolites and androgen metabolites. To the basic cortisol measurement, we'd like to have something more comprehensive, the daily or the diurnal free cortisol pattern, which is typically only available in saliva. But when you test in saliva, you give up the measurement of metabolized cortisol, which is the best marker for overall cortisol production. When you have the daily free cortisol pattern and you're missing metabolized cortisol, the clinical picture can be very misleading in many cases. And to this already comprehensive look at hormones, we're now excited to add melatonin measurement. So in the overnight sample, we're adding a melatonin measurement, which is 6-hydroxymelatonin sulfate, which essentially acts as a measurement of the entire night's production of melatonin, which is a great addition to this hormone test. So if we can take this comprehensive overview of hormones and make the patient collection easy, we really have something special. To make the patient collection easier, we're using dried urine collections. So patients simply saturate these filter paper cards with urine by either urinating in a cup and dipping them, or by urinating directly on them. So they're collecting 4 of these samples. They simply hang on a towel rack or a counter edge to dry, and then they're sent back to the laboratory for a very easy test. Why do we use dried urine samples? Simply because it's more convenient. You can see from the data here, dried versus traditional liquid urine samples, they are incredibly accurate, very stable once they're dried, and by taking these 4 collections and using a weighted average of the 4, we can give a correlation to 24-hour collection, which is your more traditional urine collection that's more cumbersome. We can correlate to it very well. So there's no need for the urine jug, and we have a very comprehensive test that has all these pieces in one simple lab test. When you compare this test to what's traditionally used, you simply find that you have more information to base your clinical decisions on. With saliva testing, you're missing estrogen metabolites, cortisol metabolites, androgen metabolites, which can really change the clinical picture. With serum testing, you have a nice look at your basic hormones, but you really don't get any of this other very valuable information. And with a 24-hour urine test, you're missing the very valuable daily free cortisol pattern, which is critical for assessing cortisol or HPA axis function. The main advantages of Dutch testing are a look at sex hormones and their metabolites. It's the most comprehensive adrenal profile by looking at the daily free cortisol pattern along with metabolized cortisol and DHEA, as well as now a melatonin measurement. For HRT monitoring, this test was tailor-made to be as useful as possible in as many scenarios of hormonal supplementation monitoring as possible. So the patient collection is the easiest on the market as well. Spitting in saliva tubes, getting a blood draw, filling up a 24-hour urine jug, none of those are necessary with this test. It's 4 simple dried urine collections. So we think that you'll find this test very useful in your clinical practice, and we look forward to working with you on it. If you'd like more information, please feel free to reach out by calling us at 503-687-2050, or you can simply go to our website, precisionhormones.com, and select Become a Provider, and we'd love to reach out with you and give you more information on this test, and we look forward to working with you.